And when I was 4, my dad had got so ill that they sent me away into China. I was sent to my grandparents. He raised me in a very harsh way. He raised me on a bamboo cane, and whenever he would speak to me, he'd always hit me in my head with his cane. First days, he would beat me until he totally knocked me out. My grandfather was a grandmaster in Kung Fu. So he would teach me the movements of wild and exotic animals and insects, from tigers to monkeys to snakes to praying mantis. And we focused on the tiger style. In those 8 years, my grandfather really just broke me in like nothing more than an animal. And although my story may seem interesting to you, for me, really, my childhood was nothing more than a nightmare. Later, I entered the World Championships between 1987 and 1989, and I held the world title for 3 years in a row. I worked on a one-man assignment in Switzerland where I prevented a kidnapping from happening. It might sound impressive, but actually I didn't follow the protocol, I didn't follow the procedure. So when I received the news of her death, I didn't handle it very well at all. I really got very depressed. And I just really wished I could have died with her. Instead of shooting somebody in their shoulder or their leg to disarm them, instead I would shoot to kill. I would shoot them straight in the face, and I took life, and I didn't feel guilt or shame. I just hated this whole world. If there was a button I could press to explode the world, I would. And you know, it was not long after this that the police in Cyprus finally caught up with me, thank goodness. But I don't know where this would have ended. Most prisons around the world, they let you out of your cell at least for an hour or 2 a day, sometimes more. In this place, sometimes they'll leave you locked up for 2 weeks. And you see, what this guy had done on the letter is right next to his address, he went and drew this big smiley face. And you see, really, if you knew me in those days, you really wouldn't draw smiley faces on letters to me. And I thought to myself, what is this rubbish? Am I a joke? He's laughing at me, he's smiling at me. And I screwed up this letter, and I threw this letter in my bin. And I thought to myself, what is this Bible basher writing these letters to me with smiley faces on? And you know, I figured to myself, well, it's got to be this one here. Because he was smiling like such a flipping idiot. Your life, you've been put into your God-shaped hole, your world championship in Kung Fu, sex, drugs, violence, anger, even your religion. And yet the one thing you've never tried is Jesus Christ. And after reading that, I just couldn't bring myself to hitting him. I began to speak to the cross, the bars, as though it was God himself. And I just began to say, please forgive me for the people I killed. I really believe we were the 10 of the most disgusting, violent, sickening criminals you'll find. And yet we were big enough to pray to Jesus Christ, and he made us all trophies of grace. When I talked to them about Jesus, I'd always want to drive in my car because I always drove a little bit faster than most. I should have gone straight to the police, but I was making so many wrong decisions. I was being such a fool. I just was thinking about, you know, I don't want to go back to prison. I really don't want to go back to prison. But what was getting me down here was that I was a Christian in prison. I was the world's worst advert for God you could ever come across. I never stopped believing in God, but I stopped believing that God could ever use a schmuck like me. So I vowed to silence Christianity. Are you hearing me, friends? That's how good my God is. And you know what? I realized I had no right to become a quiet Christian. But since then, I've been traveling around the world, published this book, and you know, I speak to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people about my Jesus. And I do that in prisons and schools and events like this. Isn't God good?
Let's just thank him today. Praise